Today we are talking with Gabriela from Bagabù, sustainable and upcycled handbags brand located here in Copenhagen. And we will talk about local production, upcycling, sustainability, production from leftovers, craftsmanship, and sustainability in general. And without further ado, Gabriela, please introduce yourself, introduce Bagabù. We would like to hear more about it.
I'm Gabriela. So originally I'm from Lithuania, Litauen, and now based in Copenhagen already the 4th year, where I keep developing my my brand Bagabù. And here I came to study sustainable fashion design and business. And yeah, so right now I'm here, so keep developing Bagabù, and I don't know, like. Oh, hello. I'm so distracted that people are joining.
It's amazing. It's so nice to see.
Yeah. I see also my friend is joining. Super fun. Yeah, so yeah, I own sustainable fashion brand producing bags, backpacks, makeup bags, and many more. And yeah, craftsman, and yeah.
That's amazing. I got to know you not so long ago, just a couple of months back, before this whole Corona pandemic started, and our common friend introduced us in a very casual environment, I must say. And we found the common talk very fast, and we continued the conversation further. And it's really great to see such an outstanding brand as yours, especially here in Copenhagen, where we are mostly used to pastel and soft colors and quite monotonous colors, whereas your brand stands out with colorful and playful designs. Why is that? Is it intentional or?
Yeah, I guess because it also reflects my personality, I would say, because I really love colors, because already life is, sometimes too boring, and so you really want to bring something, some waves and colors in your daily routine. So yeah, and to express better your personality, but I would say partially intentional, partially not, because I also, since I'm using dead stock materials and leftover materials, so it's, if I will get a lot of gray, black, and brown that moment, I still will use also those more dark and pastel colors. But maybe also being here in Denmark, it feels like, I don't know, I'm missing colors since I started my brand back in Italy, and they were way more colorful, and environment and architect, like everything. So kind of maybe I got inspired and decided to use also being here more colors, because actually maybe back in Italy when I was creating, I was using maybe calmer, a bit more pastel colors, not so strong, outstanding, and yeah.
Okay. I mean, but how did you develop this whole interest in sustainability? What was it for you?
It came like very slowly and gradually. I didn't plan at all to do business, or no, it was like, actually it came out of but I couldn't find a job back to Italy, and like I was searching a job, and parallel I said I really have to do something, because I'm not the person who sits and, like, I don't know, chill. So I said, okay, I really have to do something. And I was like, I remember the evening I was sitting and researching for leather, and I was said, okay, maybe would be cool to check for the leather and try to do some accessories, the bags, because I really like leather, like especially suede leather or rigid bags. So I started to check, and I said, okay, that's like really pricey if I will buy the brand new material. So I couldn't definitely afford it. And the next day, it was Sunday, but it's usually like very common in Italy, Sundays, to have this in main squares, the markets. In main city squares, we have a huge markets, and people bring their used stuff, furniture, clothes, everything. And that day I went to stroll around, and I bought, I think, 5, 6, 7 leather jackets. brand new, each jacket was 4 or 5 euros, and I said, okay, this is also a new level, so I'm really getting it. And like when I start to do and to very long learning process how to work with leather and work with the industrial machine and so on, and then like slowly developing as a first of all Bagabù, and then I rebranded to Bagabù.
All right, that's quite a journey. It took you around 5 years.
Yeah,
Whole...
approximately, yes. Like I guess I would say 2 3 years, good 2 3 years of just learning and to understanding. I mean, I'm keep learning a lot of things and trying to figure out, but like now I having like clearer path, like where I'm going and what I'm doing and yeah. So.
And you had to also find your way within the whole fashion industry, right? So what is your standpoint? What is fashion and what is style to you?
So style for me is really to express your personality and yourself better. So I wouldn't say nothing maybe related what is, fashionable or trendy. So, but yeah, for me it's mostly to express yourself, to play with, with styles and so on. So, and yeah, fashion is what is fashionable, what is trendy now on day. Yeah.
So basically, you would also say that it's better for a person to focus on finding his or her own unique style rather than follow the fashion trends primarily.
I mean, I would say it depends. Maybe if person like really, if likes the trends and like really trendy person, why not? I mean, it's personal choice. I mean, you can be trendy in a sustainable way. I mean, you can buy, I don't know, one piece per season, and yeah, it's like personally, I would say I'm not. I like sometimes trends, and maybe I will purchase something from trendy, but it will never be impulsive like in that way. So.
All right. Yeah, I can see that. I think it's very important to integrate that in the whole lifestyle so that it fits you and then you feel more comfortable. And I'm glad to hear that this is actually what it is for you too. It has always been a part of you and it naturally came out this way as well. So it's easy to stay within that and cultivate that area of your life. I was wondering actually if you could explain us upcycling. What is it?
Upcycling, so at least like actually I'm upcycling like when I was doing with the leather jackets, but you take some old material and to give as a second life, so you upgrade it, so that would be upcycling. But what I was doing from leather jackets to the bag or backpack or whatever, but you will give a second life to give a circular.
Okay, all right. And so for you, as you state quite boldly, that sustainability doesn't have to be boring. It, in fact, can be playful and colorful. What's your stand on this? Do you say that sustainability is kind of boring, or?
Maybe like I wouldn't say what sustainability is boring. Maybe some people, no, I don't know, like it just was more as a quote, what sustainability cannot be boring, or wait, I actually thought about this thing, what I wanted to say, but maybe if I associate sustainability with timeless things, maybe it could get boring because you will wear or use these things for a long time. So in that maybe way, I wanted to express to make it playful. So if you have a colorful item, yeah, maybe.
I think it makes sense. It totally makes sense. And we actually have a comment that someone's bag that you made is 3 years old, and the person still keeps using it. So that's amazing.
Yeah. And
Great.
yeah, especially maybe with accessories, like it's nice. At least what I think, it should be like really for long periods, not only for a few seasons. Maybe with clothes is different, but for me, like accessories, like especially the the bags or shoes or coats or something, like a bit like you should have less and more match them with your style. So
Okay. And so, how was the whole idea born for you? I think you briefly touched upon it, but now you present Bagaboo as sustainable, custom-made leather backpacks and bags. So, if you could just give us a little bit more of your background within fashion as well, and also a bit more kind of like a generic explanation about your products. Are they genderless? Are they more targeted to females or men? Are they for kids, for adults? Just this kind of introduction.
Many questions, so now I will try to answer at least few. So definitely, like it's not only leather. For sure, I use the leather leftovers, but like especially before, I was using a lot of leather leftovers and leather jackets. Now I'm using a bit less because I have a huge demand of for sure vegans and so on. So eco bags, eco materials. So definitely I have also the non-leather backpacks even more now. So and definitely it's genderless. So I don't put in the box what guys cannot wear. I don't know, bags or something else. I'm definitely for makeup is for everyone, nail polish is for everyone, skirts is for everyone. It's like such a personal choice, whatever you will feel like, or colors like. For me, it doesn't work like this, but pink is for the guy, or like, you know, I don't know. So yeah, definitely for everyone. And my background, yeah, so I studied here in Copenhagen, KEA, Design and Technology University, and I finished sustainable fashion design and business. So that's my background. And so yeah, and what I do a lot also the custom orders, but the person can choose from the scratch the materials outside, inside, like whatever they feel. So together for sure with the customer, I help a lot to choose the dream bag, and I do it from the scratch. And I think it's way cooler personally for me because you have a choice, you know, to do it the way you like to do it, the way you like it, and for sure to think the colors you wear. And yeah, so distracting those comments.
But it's so nice. It's so great to feel the support, and thank you guys for being so active. Please remember, you can just throw your questions and we will try to take them throughout the chat. So feel free.
Does the fast fashion industry sometimes upsets? For sure it upsets, like for sure. And before I would say it was even triggering me more. Like, sorry, I'm jumping from questions, but I mean, at a certain point you get overwhelmed and like go over it, and like, okay, like I cannot change big fashion brands and cannot do anything. I do what I can do in my circle, also with my community, with my customers, and if I can do a small change, I'm already happy. But and so yeah. But I think it's mainly the thing that to change our community, consumers, the mindset towards the sustainability. That's a biggest job to do.
I see. I can totally agree. There are a lot of different parties involved in the whole change. It includes everyone from government to consumers to big brands to small brands. And how would you say, who has the biggest impact? Who can be actually the trendsetter?
I would say the people who, I mean, the most follow people maybe was all these biggest icons, because they have such a big power in their hands. So I think they should do this job. I would say, I think so, because also I get affected from like what I follow, or yeah, I'm curious about. So I think definitely even these influencers on Instagram, famous people like actors, everyone, I think that, and for sure small brands, big brands, they have really huge power. So I think they have to work a lot towards re-educating and to spreading about sustainability, because I think they did other way around. They really thought about fast fashion and like managed to change the mindset of people. So we should do also our way around, and they have very big power, definitely. But yeah, as you said, everyone is involved, like also like all a lot of parties and all this. Yeah.
And what do you think about the big brands when they actually claim some claims about their sustainability agenda or some actions? There is part of it is greenwashing, right? And unfortunately, it is what it is these days. Do you think that greenwashing is necessarily bad? Is it neutral? Should it be eliminated?
I really like, I kind of always think, since the people who, like, yeah, it's since you're adult, so you have to understand, like, how to say, you are digesting the information you get. So maybe for this like greenwashing, if you're very weak, maybe that would work. But I don't know, like as you said, like if big brands are claiming about, I think we should share what we do towards sustainability, but we don't need to exaggerate, because now it's always already, I would say, 3 years, it's very trendy to be sustainable. Whatever, even a small thing you do, so you really shout out it very loud with how sustainable you are. So you don't need maybe to exaggerate just because you need to be fashionable, in sustainability. So I think you have to report for sure what you do and to be transparent, but not to exaggerate and to do the, I don't know, greenwashing. Like if a big fashion brand, I don't know, do small thing or very line once in a year and to like really say it loud how sustainable we are, maybe that's a little bit weird, but just to say, yeah, we did this to support that, and that's, I think, a very correct way to do.
And would you say that the big brands are actually doing enough? Are
Oh
their
no.
efforts enough?
I think no, but also I think it's so difficult to change all the supply chain and all the production is like, they build up, as I said, they also build up all this fast fashion. It took years as well. So to swap it like this, it's like the ones who are like, you know, world big fashion brands. So it's crazy difficult, I think. So yeah.
We have another question, which is, do you see a place for underrepresented non-mainstream cultures to be source of inspiration for the sustainable design? I guess this question is more about some small communities or even specific countries, maybe artisan and craftsmanship.
I kind of got it like this, yeah, because like all this artisanal culture and craftsman culture is like really so old. So I think it's very big inspiration for sustainable design. I think, and now it's also getting more trendy, like more and more, like to do the more artisanal and crafts.
And then talking about your craftsmanship, we already touched upon about big brand supply chain and production processes, whereas in your brand, in a small business, it's a very small team, as I guess. So how does the production process look behind Bagabù?
So far I'm doing everything myself. So all the production is based here. my best friend, sewing machine. So I'm doing all the production so far, because for sure, like, I still enjoy a lot, and I guess I kind of still promising myself, if everything is fine, I still would like to keep doing, because that's like, I feel happy, I enjoy so much. But yeah, for now, all production is here in my studio in Copenhagen. And so I'm the main full-timer, because for sure Bagabù is not a big brand and so on. So, and I have a few other people who are kind of partially was the studio. Okay, today now is the right date to see the studio, because I didn't get ready. Actually, my initial plan was to do the live in the store, in the Bagabù store in city center, but I got stuck in my work. So So yes, maybe next live I will show around more. I can also share more materials and to show more tools. But
Gabriela, that's a promise then.
yeah, yeah, that's a promise, definitely. And but sorry, the question was so yeah, and then for sure I have a few part-time people who help me with content creating and also the visuals. So I would say two people, kind of partially part-time, and I have another my boyfriend who helps with the IT part and the website, but we share together. So I have, I would say, three people who like kind of part-time, less than part-time, helps with the technical and visual part with Bagaboo.
Okay. So you source your materials from factories in Italy, if I understand correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that stock factories. So they collect from I would say more or less all over the Italy from the other fashion brands leftovers and the off like for the collections and so on. So and there is these warehouses where I go and I collect myself the materials and as well so mainly from Italy, but I still now I'm using less. Before I was using a lot leather jackets, so now I'm using less, but still even when I go to travel, even for holidays, I still go to this all the thrift stores and secondhand shops so and check for maybe some cool leather jackets or skirts or other items that I could use for my production. So as well like in other countries, I used to also use some furniture offcuts as well for my production. So it really depends on time, but definitely 90% is like that stock materials from the Italian factories. I have two free, not free suppliers, but where I'm getting them.
Do you know more about your suppliers? Are they making the fabric sustainably in the first place, or your sustainability claim is basically giving the dead stocks another life and actually just contributing to zero waste movement?
Yeah, so but also there, as my suppliers as well, we're very happy what we do and like what we are collecting materials and they have really like they sell a lot. Not I'm a mostly for a smaller brands, and it's yeah it's public like public open also for the I don't know regular people to pass by and to buy for the small things what we want to do, but also for also bigger fashion brands. So they also claim themselves that they are collecting these like leftover textiles and so on. So
And they're also collecting zippers and buttons, so it's not only the fabric.
no, it's not only fabric. So also there is just different ones where I can go for fabrics, the textiles also, and the separate one where I would go for all the metal parts and the zippers and so on. So that's another one which also collects to other fashion brands, and it's in general that area which collects like the material. So it's not like there are quite many like in all that area where I go. So.
And then once you get your materials that you would like to produce from, what are the design challenges that you face?
I don't see it as a challenge. I see it more as a fun because for me it's like how to say challenging fun because when I go it's again it's not like crazy surprises but I see. I'm very happy that I see the different colors or a bit similar what I use, but I really get excited and yeah to produce from those materials. Still the model is always almost same. It could be really minor adjustments, but they're all I would say same, and so I wouldn't say it's a very big challenge.
And then trying to fit the design within the piece of fabric that you get from those places, isn't that in any way a constraint? Is it more an inspiration?
Yeah, it's more, but definitely it was more a challenge when I was working with the leather jackets. That was way more challenging because you really have to disassemble and it's really way longer preparation to way more crafty also I would say, and for sure you have to be so careful for certain pieces which could be ruined or used. So or to clean certain parts. So that's a bit more challenging for sure. And that would be, as I said, if I would like to source out my production somewhere else, or like to have a help from like to have other people who would help me with a production, I think that could be maybe a challenge, because I really know what I like to do and which colors would match together. So, and since every model is just one of a kind and they're not no same model, so for another person, like to explain it or let it go by production for someone else, that would be really challenging for me. So I still have no answer for this, because maybe I could have a certain line, but I don't know, could be more similar and yeah, so yeah, this is kind of to source out for me would be a little bit of challenge.
I can definitely see that, and that raises another question for me. How are you able to make custom designs then? If a person can just fill in the form on your website that I checked briefly, just so that I would know how it works, and basically the person can choose amount of zippers, but they should be outside or inside, pockets, outside, inside, materials, the colors. Do the imagination always match, or then you just take it from there and have a personal conversation with the customer to come up with the best design?
I would say like we really like it's different from person to person. Some people really comes already, but they saw some models and they said, okay, I like this color and that amount of a zipper. Some really comes, I really want something custom. I have no clue, so we really try to find the compromises together. But no, it really depends. Yeah, but usually I always encourage to come to my studio to check what I have, and then to check what the lining you like. So to build up everything yourself from the scratch, and it takes sometimes really some good time to choose, and the person from the initial idea end up to completely different ideas. So yeah, but still kind of the thing, but the style of the model more or less is same. So it's the main challenge is to choose which colors you want, or which the combination of colors, and I don't know, leather, non-leather, and colorful inside. I always encourage every person to make a funky inside. So to something but with small secrets would cheer you up. So that's yeah. But usually we with a customer we decide together, and I try to give advices, because yeah, what would be functional and more comfortable, and yeah, and maybe the challenges that people usually they want light colors or like colorful models, but they kind of scared because maybe it will, I don't know, get dirty, or it's, I don't know. So, but then I say, but the materials I use, they are really resistant and strong, and they're not afraid of dirt, and it's easy to clean and to treat it. So, yeah.
So they have no problem of maintenance, even if it's a bright color. It is
No. So
quite
usually
protected.
I just usually need to, I usually have to a bit to encourage a person to explain, and not to be scared to use even like brighter corals. Yeah.
Is there any particular trend difference or color preferences across the world? Because you sell worldwide, and you also have two physical stores in Copenhagen. I mean, you sell in two physical stores in Copenhagen. Maybe someday we will see a brand store, right? Like completely your own, I hope. But as of now, what is the main difference from Danish and Scandinavian market and the rest of the world, if there is any?
I would say still my main market is 95% is Denmark, Scandinavia, where I sell, and I'm really focusing for now in Danish market, like only like here, because it takes efforts also to put like in other markets, and since we are so small, so now our main focus is Denmark. For sure, I have a little bit maybe back from Italy time, so there are a little bit customers there, but definitely there are one main color which is green, like what Danish loves, this green and yellow and pink. But green is on top when yellow and pink. So this is like for sure. I really sold out mostly. Sell out these colors most, and I really feel the kind of the trend. But green is the color that people really like. here in Denmark at least. Yeah.
That's great. And do you see that it's easy to get as well, this color?
For now, when was Corona time, was a little bit difficult because when people like really, I didn't have it anymore, and people really wanted that color, so it was a little bit of challenge. But I managed to get from my suppliers, but also maybe we also get a big demand for a green color because like we didn't have as much, but in comparison other colors like maybe blue. For example, I love so much the blue, and I have so many different shades, but apparently it's not the color.
Okay. Oh, that's so interesting to know those small details and how it can affect. I would just like to ask again, people, if they have any questions, feel free to just write it in the chat. We will, as you saw, we will definitely try to answer and take it from there. But just to move on with our talk, I would like to ask you about your opinion on alternative materials. Lately, there were new fabrics coming into the market. For example, pineapple leather or cactus leather or coffee ground leather, you name it. Dairy production leftover fabric. So, what is your opinion on that? And would you like to work with those fabrics at some point in time?
Yeah, since I'm not the expert of this new type of materials, I'm really curious. It's very interesting because there are like really crazy things like mushroom and banana and also like apple. And so actually I have a colleague, I would say, of mine, but they're working with the apple leftovers, and they're making from the cider leftovers, what we get the apple pulp, and then they are making the leather. And I think it's really cool, and it would be one of kind of my future goals. But I would really like to work with alternative materials for leather. I think it's super interesting. I think we have also, I feel like it should be challenging because you have to experiment so much to understand how the material works, how it can sustain, how to react to environment. So that's like very interesting part for me. And because really depends of the heat, of the cold, and like all the coating part of the material, how it all will react. So I really positive about that, and it would be really interesting to actually to have a possibility to work. I worked with a leather, apple leather, and it was really interesting, and I really enjoyed it. So definitely it would be my future goal. I'm actually now very curious about cactus leather. I'm a bit
Wow.
reading in Mexico what we are doing. So, but I'm just like really briefly checking, and would be really interesting.
What I hear from your answer is that you are very focused on durability and providing good quality. So therefore, it seems that as you spend a lot of effort to finding out about the characteristics of the material and ensuring that your product will last, which is also a very great step, which is a very good sustainability measurement as well. There was a question, but maybe you just answered it as I see from the chat. Would you consider moving towards using leather alternative leftovers fully instead? I'm actually just wondering as well whether there is alternative leather leftovers yet. Let's say pineapple leather leftovers.
It depends. For example, what I was reading, if I'm not wrong, with like in this cactus leather, actually, or mushroom leather, but they first make a pattern and then they can grow that like that size of a leather, so we don't have any leftover. But I don't know what the phase we are dealing now, if it's already kind of done, or there are so many steps, I think, the preparation, and they work in all these laboratories to figure out. So there is for sure the ways to produce, I guess, without any leftovers and offcuts. But I'm quite sure we also have leftover materials, even these alternative leather materials. So that's for sure.
That's very true. But I'm excited to hear that there is actually even some consideration of how to grow a particular pattern. That's like a brand new thing to me. Was a lot of talk about 3D printing and the production on demand. And I think, for example, a custom made bag is also made on demand, right?
Yeah.
So that decreases the waste and it provides a longer use time for the product when it has been made according to the client's needs. But now with all the new technology, who knows, maybe we will get a completely different production process, but of course it has to be scalable and there's still some
Yes. Yeah, for
research
sure.
to be done.
Yeah, and there are there are also programs to work with a zero waste, how to make a pattern, and but for sure it's way more time consuming. It takes way more efforts, and everyone wants to think fast. So for sure it's like it's a process, and yeah, it's. But I think it's
That,
super cool and interesting. Yeah. So yeah, and also the other part, but so I wanted to maybe interrupt before, but like for me, what is very important, the craftsman part, also to keep the traditions and also to save it, because now like everything, like people start to use machines, like everything is so technological, so still to use the man's power and like all these like crafty things. So I think it's so important, and it's I think it's for me it's a magic. I know that person out of a like I know the piece of a textile can do something really nice. So I think that's kind of to save the traditions, and to personally I really appreciate from my childhood when everything what is made by hand for me is like you really how to say you really want to take care even more of the object. And, yeah.
I can only relate to that. And tell us a bit more about your latest project. That was also so much handwork and natural dyeing and
Mhm.
a lot of emotion put into the project. So tell us a bit more about it. Was it some kind of like an idea which was born during COVID-19 pandemic when we all were locked down, and or was it just a well-planned project from before?
Yeah, so pity that I don't have kind of my partner who we were doing together, because she could tell you like also her part, because we kind of divided the things what we were doing, but the collaboration we decided already, like I would say some time ago. It was not because of a COVID, so we because I got to know her since she's a soap maker. She's doing cold press soaps, and I participated in her workshop, and like we were start to chat and became friends and like sharing the ideas, and we really felt that we would like to make a project together and what would be, and then we like but I could take a part because I'm not making soaps, and I don't know how I could put my part in such a thing. And she yeah, so yeah, and then she started to say about this natural dyeing idea, and then I said, okay, let's try to do it. And for sure, we were thinking what to do, what bags or what else could be. So, and little by little, we developed the idea. We are not completely done with it. I really hope. I've said myself already this week that it will be launched and people could go on the web shop and purchase in case. But we are almost there. So a bit jumping from the ideas, but anyway, so it's so she was doing the coloring part, and it's really long process. For sure she could tell more, but it's since it's a natural way using the like the herbs, the food waste, the nuts and so on, all this with from the nature things, and it takes a lot that the color would absorb and become strong. So, and when once the material was prepared and colored, I'm still producing the bags, so still they're in the process. And the materials what we are using is also dead stock materials from the factories I'm buying. So yeah, it's really long process. It really takes a lot of patience and efforts, and very crafty project. So yeah, but
And
maybe
the bags will be available on the website.
yes, it will be. Yeah, it will be available on my web shop. Also, I can maybe put in the comments after the Diga, the Živile from the what we were working together, and we already brought the first bags. So each bag for like one color of each bag in the vegan store, because it's fully vegan. Also the bags, so they are already there. So we started last week. So first models are there, and I was sharing, but I can actually put also the my partner in crime.
That would be
So,
awesome. It would
yeah.
really help. Yeah. Um, and I can maybe just name it again that you are doing the backpacks and bags and makeup bags and belt bags and you are producing custom made bags
Yeah. And mini
and then
wallets also
and
there.
mini wallets and now this other project with natural dyes. So you are doing a lot of effort to actually bring sustainability to life and like actually use the leftovers and everything. But there is still this part of shipping abroad, let's say overseas or something. And I'm bringing this up as a part of the question that we just received in the comments. Since you ship abroad, in general, what challenges do you see in sustainability and shipping online orders?
Uh, I never actually shipped anything outside Europe. So far, I haven't got any order outside Europe. I had a few like clients, maybe Americans or Canadians, who bought here and took the backpacks or bags themselves. So I know there are some products walking around in the States, but I never shipped it actually. And I'm using the shipping company, which like is sustainable one. So that's I don't see the challenge. And as I said, my main focus and clients are in Denmark, so the platform I'm using is also sustainable. So I wouldn't say it's a kind of challenge. And so far, I guess I need to grow even more to face this bigger challenge when like I need to speed up, like I have a faster production and so on. Maybe then will be a bigger challenge. But for now, I could say I'm fine. I can manage.
And it seems it's basically a matter of choosing the right partners
Exactly.
for shipping as well.
Yeah, and I didn't check that much, but for sure, even like big companies, they introducing a lot of options, like for also in sustainable way. So definitely, but yeah, I understand like maybe the companies who are having production and also in Asia or something like this. So that's really huge challenge, and like that's very big challenge. But I'm not there.
Okay, yes. And I was actually just thinking in my head that maybe that is also partly a way for you to compensate for the shipping or contribute now, as I hear that you already making green choices in that regards with, let's say, plantable labels, right? Where the person can just plant the label in the soil and then a beautiful plant would grow and it would serve a huge part in the ecosystem for the bees and also for the oxygen that we breathe in. Is it only in collaboration project for the natural dyes, or is it a new thing in all of your bags?
So for now, it's only the collaboration that we are doing together with Živile from Digo. So because she's actually like wrapping her soaps in that kind of paper, which is the plantable one. So she started also recently, as I know. And we said, let's also use for our project label. And definitely I would like, but the labels I'm using and the postcards and business cards, so also I'm using this eco paper as well. So, but that's also for sure alternative, a new way, like the plantable paper that was also new for me. So I'm just like also trying to get to know more. And why not? For now, I'm not using this only for the project, but I really like it. It's really nice and very nice, cool.
So was I correct to say that when you plant this paper, a plant will grow, or that the paper
That's
will
cross.
actually?
Yeah, so you put it in the ground, and actually it's how you say, I forgot the word on the tongue. Uh, it not sorry, the
Is
I
it
mean,
biodegradable? Does it
yes, so
compose?
yes. So it's just disappearing, and then the straw start to come from the ground. Yeah. Thank you so
Oh,
much. Sometimes like the
amazing.
yeah yeah.
Yeah, crazy. It's so many great things coming up, and I'm really happy to see them coming in this whole world, and also that you are experimenting, you're being playful as well with your own sustainability choices. I mean, why not, right? We
Of
don't have
course.
to be boring. We have to be uplifted from the whole movement and see how it can serve us.
Yeah, and it's so cool. For example, also for me, like you see, like I like to start to collaborate together with Digo, and I got to know about this plantable material, and now you got to know. So it's like the more you people you met and you spread all these ideas, I think it's such a cool. Also the collaborations and coming projects uh, related to sustainability. Sorry, but I jumped a bit from the.
That is
Yeah.
actually a very good continuation to the ideas that you were just discussing. So, do you actually have any new upcoming projects related to sustainability? Is there something on your mind, or is it too early to ask for this yet?
I have something on my mind. I guess I will not share it yet because I don't know if it's because it's such a just idea and it's far away from there. Like because I'm still like need to finish this project and I want to do so much and all the marketing part and visual. So it's like overwhelming already that. So I have already the ideas. And like for sure, I really, as I mentioned previously, I really would love to work with alternative materials like cactus or banana or apple, whatever would be really really cool. So that would be kind of more as a dream, and that maybe I will try to work on that more. But I have some few maybe ideas about the collaborations and
So,
yeah.
guys, just stay tuned, and
Yeah,
Bagaboo will share when the time comes to that. But
yeah,
our time
definitely.
is coming to an end slowly. There's no need to rush yet, but I would like to bring up a section of in the interview where what I usually do, and this is called fill in the gaps. So
Mhm.
I will give you 5 statements one by one, and you will just have to finish with your ideas. Are
Okay.
you
Some
ready?
game
Yes. So the first one, to me, sustainability is.
is for me sustainability is like definitely not impulsive choices and what is durable.
That's a really good answer.
Yeah.
The next one thing I would like to see more of in the world.
Definitely way more efforts, like as I mentioned again previously, to trying to work on the changing consumer mindsets, like towards sustainability, putting more like in a part in education, and yeah, but definitely I would like to see more.
Very needed indeed.
Yeah.
Next one. For a complete beginner in the sustainability area, I would suggest to start off with
Check your wardrobe and try not.
yes.
Yeah, definitely. I always. I think like that's like when you will go to check it, when you think, okay, damn, I don't need anything, at least this and second month. Yeah, that's the main thing, I guess. And then you slowly can start to read and to check the things and but yeah, start from that.
Yes. And every sustainable business.
Every sustainable business, that's a good one, should be, I don't maybe very transparent. That would be, yeah, could be,
That's a good answer.
and maybe to share the, I don't know, the accomplishments more, or I don't know, even small things, yeah, to share, and yeah, that's
Definitely, we should celebrate more. I think
yeah.
that's a really a good aim. And the last statement is, in 2 to 3 years, I see Bagaboo.
I see Bagaboo. Okay, that's like very big dream. Um, okay, that's okay. I will dream. I don't know if it will happen or not, but would be really cool to have a store and a workshop together. I would love to, and to have a like bigger team. I would like, and the third one as a again mentioned before, to maybe to have a alternative material line as well. That would be very nice. So maybe these three
Awesome.
things. Yeah.
It's really awesome. I think you should really shoot for the dreams, and I hope you can even exceed that. But why not? Why not be curious and try to do those things that you really wish to happen?
Let's
Yeah,
see. Maybe it
let's
will
see.
come true. Yeah. There's lots of time, so step by step. Yeah. Let's see. But
Steadily,
very
that's
nice
the most
game.
important.
Very, very funny one. So, but what is your advice for the beginner in sustainability? What would be?
I would say start educating yourself. And for that, I'm really happy to see so many active viewers today in our chat. I think you guys are doing really great by spending an hour at least to just tune in, educate yourself, follow both Bagaboo and My Conscious Living to actually deepen your knowledge, or whatever channels you basically choose. And starting from yourself, the more educated you become, the more long-term sustainable choices you will make, and it will improve your life and everybody else's life.
Definitely. When little by little everyone is spreading their knowledge, and yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
We cannot do huge changes, but I think the small one around us, so we can definitely do.
Yeah. So what would you
Cool.
say would be your three key takeaways just to summarize our talk today?
Oh, so maybe first one, like try as less as possible, be impulsive, like really think twice, like when whatever you purchase, and try to search something very unique and I don't know, what really would reflect you, but your personality. So it's really related with impulsive shopping, I think. And the third one, uh, I would say again, check your wardrobe. I don't know, but or yeah,
It
maybe.
doesn't hurt to repeat it again, because if when it's such a strong statement, I think it's, it has to sink in through the mind. So
Yeah.
definitely.
And
Gabriela, yeah,
okay.
just
No,
shoot
I
for
want to
it
say
if there's
also,
something else.
and also, yeah, I really like also the clothes swapping with friends or the vintage. So that's also very, very cool thing. So, but yeah, so those, there are so many, but I guess it will come after the live, but anyone can write me. I can, I can share as well. So,
Please,
yeah,
everyone, do that. And I would like to greatly thank you, Gabriela from Bagaboo, who shared your knowledge and time talking about upcycling and sustainability, and sharing your best knowledge, and putting your heart out to all of us here. Extremely thankful for all the people who tuned in, who wrote your questions, who actively participated, or who even just listened in while doing some errands. That's also great, as long as you joined and you also enjoyed your time. So I'm super grateful.